I think it's really important to think about who are the actual storytellers.
I wish there was a way that people would pay more attention to the older gay folks.
Whose visions are we able to share on screen?
If you're not young, if you're not pretty, see ya, you become invisible.
My name is PJ Raval. I am a director and producer based out of Austin, Texas. I grew up in a small town in Central California that was very white, very conservative, and it made things very challenging as a young kid growing up who was queer, who was Filipino American. By the time I went to college, I had recognized that in this world I was going to have to forge my own path. I met a very high-profiled, Hollywood producer who, as a film student, I had a one-on-one meeting with him, which was, was a very big deal. This film producer said to me, nobody wants to see films about LGBT people. Like, don't waste your time on that. I remember being furious at that moment. What it made me do was really commit myself to what I had already been doing.
All the customers, I call them all family.
It's making films and work that featured people of color, LGBT, stories that were not being heard, communities that were being overlooked and unrepresented. That's largely the community that I come from.
There's a lack of justice in many trans people's lives. Members of our community are killed every day.
Do you see the trouble I got myself in this weekend on Facebook?
Can't you just think and then post?
No, apparently not.
Come and Take It is a short documentary about Jessica Jen, a Chinese-American and recent graduate of the University of Texas who decides to protest campus carry, the law in Texas that allows concealed firearms to be brought onto a university campus. Jessica protests this by pointing out the fact that it is illegal to openly brandish a dildo. So she creates a viral social media sensation by creating a Texas dildo protest.
I created a Facebook event, shared it with my friends, woke up the next morning and found that thousands of people had started joining.
I made this film with a friend of mine, Ellen Spiro. What we saw Jessica doing was really inspiring. Here you had this young woman who saw an issue that she disagreed with. Using her talents and kind of wit and social media, she essentially created a movement.
Strap it on, deal with the discomfort, deal with the weird looks, because that's the way people should be treating gun culture in America. So wear it loud, wear it proud, don't apologize for it, and don't take them off until people take their guns home.
I think this story is important to share because obviously the United States has a long history of gun violence. This film, it's a look at gun violence and gun violence prevention from perhaps a different angle. But I think it's also inspiring because I think what Jessica in the film is doing is she's also thinking about it from all sides of it, right? And I think for me, the story also becomes a little bit of a birth of an organizer, perhaps, right? And starting to understand her place in the world and the power that she perhaps can hold as someone who is outspoken and passionate about an issue.
I want to figure it out, but also I kind of break it along the way, you know?
Everybody makes a mistake. As long as you stick to your point of doing the right thing. Do you really want to do that?
What?
Convince a lot of people to believe in something, to make a change. It's a lot of work.
Making independent films, there's a lot of knows, no, we already have that LGBT film, or no, we already have one film that's looking at this issue. I think all these things drive certain independent filmmakers, certainly myself, the desire to even want to make films more. As someone who grew up queer and a person of color in the United States, I think a lot of my identities formed around having to resist people trying to discourage or marginalize me. The more challenges that I face in terms of independent filmmaking, the stronger my desire is there to actually make something to prove that it can be done, or makes me realize the message that I'm trying to get across is even more important than ever.